close your eyes and take a few deep, slow breaths to relax your mind and body. Breathe in through your nose and out through your mouth. Make your breaths long, slow and steady. Rhythmically inhale and exhale until you move into the present. When you are in the moment, you are entering a world of possibility. Now, there is a powerful intelligence within you that is giving you life, which loves you very much. When your will matches its will, when your mind matches its mind, when your love matches its love for you, it always responds. It will move in you and all around you, and you will see the evidence in your life as a result of your efforts. To be greater than your environment, to be greater than the conditions in your life, to be greater than the feelings that are memorized in the body, to think greater than the body, to be greater than time, means that you are tugging on the garment of the divine. Your destiny, then, is a reflection of, a co-creation with, a greater mind. Love yourself enough to do this. Now, you cannot create a new future while holding on to the emotions of the past. What was the emotion that you wanted to unmemorize? Remember what that emotion feels like in your body. Remember when you went into W.H. Smith and tried to buy a fountain pen. You felt guilty and undeserving, anxious and frustrated. Recognize the familiar state of mind that is driven by that emotion. In your case, this is a desire to punish, underrate and introduce strict rules to control your life and the stresses within it. It's time to turn to the power within you, introduce yourself to it, and tell it what you want to change about yourself. Begin to admit to it who you have been, and what you have been hiding. In your mind, talk to it. Remember that it is real. It already knows you. It doesn't judge you. It only loves. Say to it, universal consciousness within me and all around me, I have been feeling guilty and defective, and I truly want to change from this limited state of being. It's time to free the body from the mind, to close the gap between how you appear and who you are, to liberate your energy. Release your body from the familiar emotional bonds, which keep you connected to everything, every place, and everyone in your past and present reality. It is the moment to free up your energy. I want you to say the emotion you want to change, out loud, and liberate it from your body as well as your environment. Say it now. And now it's time to surrender this state of being to a greater mind and to ask it to resolve this in a way that is right for you. Can you relinquish control to a greater authority that already has the answers? Surrender to this infinite mind and understand that this intelligence is absolutely real. It only waits in admiration and in willingness. It only responds when you ask for help. Surrender your limitation to an all-knowing intelligence. Simply open the door, give it up, and let go completely. Let it take your limitation from you. Infinite mind, I give you my feelings of guilt and defectiveness. Take them from me and resolve these emotions into a greater sense of wisdom. Free me from the chains of my past. Now, just feel how you would feel if you knew this mind was taking these memorized emotions from you. You would go into W.H. Smith and be able to buy the pen. You would feel happy and enjoy using it. There would be no anxiety or guilt. If you wanted a new item of clothing or to buy a present, there would be no resistance. You would be free from rules and restrictions and would be content and peaceful. Now let's make sure that no thought, no behavior, no habit that causes you to return back to the old self goes unnoticed by you. To make sure, let's become conscious of those unconscious states of mind and body. How did you use to think when you felt that way? What did you say to yourself? What voice did you believe that you no longer want to accept as your reality? Observe those thoughts. Begin to separate yourself from the program. How did you once behave? How did you speak? Become conscious of those unconscious states to such an extent that they would never go unnoticed by you again. To begin to objectify the subjective mind, to begin to observe the program means you are no longer the program. Awareness is your goal. Remind yourself who you no longer want to be, how you no longer want to think, how you no longer want to behave, and how you no longer want to feel. Become familiar with all aspects of the old personality, and just observe. With firm intention, make a choice to no longer be that person, and let the energy of your decision become a memorable experience. Now it's time to play the change game. I want you to imagine 3 scenarios in your life where you could start to feel like the old self again, and when you do, I want you to say change out loud. First, imagine that it is morning and you are in the shower, and as you are getting ready for your day, all of a sudden you notice that familiar feeling just starting to come up. And the moment you notice it, you say change. That's right, you changed it. Because living by that emotion is not loving to you. And it is no use signaling the same genes in the same way. And nerve cells that no longer fire together, no longer wire together. You control that. Next, I want you to see yourself in the middle of the day. You are driving down the road, and suddenly, that familiar feeling that drives those familiar thoughts starts to come up, and what do? You say, change. That's right, you change. Because the rewards of being happy and healthy are so much more important than returning back to the old self. And by the way, living by that emotion has never been loving to you. And every time you change your state, you know that nerve cells that no longer fire together, no longer wire together, and you no longer turn on the same genes in the same ways. Now I want you to play the change game one more time. I want you to see yourself getting ready for bed, and you are pulling the covers back, and as you start to get into bed, you notice that familiar feeling coming up, which is tempting you to behave as the old personality, and what do? You say, change. That's right. Because nerve cells that no longer fire together, no longer wire together. Signaling that gening that way is not loving to you, and nobody and nothing is worth it. You control that.